Hello and welcome to Carriage House Conversations. I know it's been a minute, but we've been super busy with weddings. 'Tis the season, but I didn't want to let this go astray. And I've always wanted to talk to the fabulous Sarah. So we're going to take a minute today and talk to Sara Kiehl of Lotus Blossom.
Yes.
Um, you probably have seen her things around town in some of the windows downtown, signage, Christmas time especially. She does a lot of the beautiful signage and really cool things downtown windows. For us, she's one of our preferred vendors doing all kinds of things. She does menu cards, she does table seating, place cards, guest seating charts, table numbers, welcome signs, all kinds of things. Great calligraphy, great signage, beautiful. So we're going to take a minute today and get to know Sarah a little bit
Yeah.
better. So welcome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for coming on this beautiful day. I felt
Yeah.
like we should sit outside if it
Yeah.
wasn't so
Right.
noisy out, but
Yeah.
it's beautiful today.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get to know you a little bit
Okay.
first. We were chatting a little bit before. You
Yeah.
are from
Yep.
Williamsport.
Yes. Went to Williamsport Area High School. Graduated in '04, which is such a long time ago now.
Such a long time
I
ago.
know.
You're just a baby.
Yeah. I
And did you graduate with your husband, Matt?
yes, I did, but we
Okay.
weren't friends. No,
Oh,
we had mutual friends, and it wasn't until after high school that we started dating and
okay.
all of that, which is really funny. A lot of people were like, "You weren't friends," and I was like, "Well, not really. I mean, we knew each other."
Yeah.
And he always jokes around that, "Oh, I knew who you were because you were one of the preppy, smart girls who didn't talk to people like me." But we always laugh about that now. But
Well, and Williamsport's so big.
it is,
Yeah, your class size is so
yeah.
large.
I
So,
think we had like 437 or four
yeah.
something. So yeah, but
Okay.
it's just funny. We joke about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys been married
We've been married, it will
since,
be 13 years in August.
oh, 13 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy. It goes by
And
really fast.
it does, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes. I tell people that all the time, like people who are getting lettering done. I'm like, just enjoy your day because it goes so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they're
Yeah.
booking their weddings, they're like, "Are we booking too early? I know it's like a year and a half away or a year away." And I'm like, "You are not booking too early. Before you know it, we're going to be sitting here having our final meeting. It
Yeah.
goes so
Yeah.
fast. And there's a lot of planning to do. So do it early, get all this stuff out of the way."
So then you can kind of stop and enjoy the whole thing, just, take a breath and
Yeah,
breathe. Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
So, talking about you also, I mean, we got to talk about, oh, baby Maeve.
Yeah, we just had a baby in April, and she's 3 months. It's been keeping us very busy. And funny thing, I had booked a wedding for you guys, a month after I had her, and
Hmm.
I wasn't expecting to have an emergency C-section, but I did. And then the wedding came up, and we got it done. I figured it out. Luckily she was little and sleeping still a lot, so I could plug away and get all the
Yeah.
calligraphy done for that.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
That was a big
It
wedding.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
It was very pretty.
Yeah. I'm glad.
Yeah. You did all the table numbers, you did the
Yes.
guest seating chart. Was there a welcome sign? What else
I
did you
don't think
do?
I think they had one of their friends make the welcome sign,
Okay.
but I did the seating chart and I did the table cards and I think I did I forget what else I did. But
Yeah, very pretty.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can always print things out, get things done, order
hmm
things online, but to have someone local do it, hand deliver it, I
Yeah.
mean, and be able to like call and say, "Hey, we've had this change."
Yeah.
That's so nice to have someone right here.
Yeah, and I always stress with people when they come to me, especially at Herman and Luther's when they're having a wedding. I always say it's nice because I am local. So if there's something that happens, I can always run out here quickly, drop stuff off, make something new the night before, bring it in, that way you have it. That way, you never know what could come up at a wedding,
Yeah,
what disasters
that's
could
true.
fall. So,
I've seen some small disasters of things breaking. It tends to get windy here. We've had, oftentimes people use like those glass window frames or something,
yeah,
they'll
that's
break
popular
or
right
yeah,
now. Yeah.
anything can happen. But if you have your calligrapher right in town
hmm
in an emergency, we're not like oh, Sarah's going to be here on the spot. But in an emergency situation, you can't call
Hmm.
your person on Etsy and hey, can
No,
you be here?
no, you can't. No.
But
And
yeah,
I know with that last wedding, they had a lot of guest changes and things like that happen. So I was able to make cards and get rid of cards right away, things that they didn't need. So it really worked out.
yeah.
Yeah.
And when we have some special things like we did something for Channel 16, the Home and Backyard one time, where they came and videotaped us for a show, and we had some table displays. Sarah did some really beautiful things for us. We did the menu cards, which were my favorite, and I wish someone would do this.
Yeah.
We did round menu
Yes,
cards.
those were really cool with the gold charger plates.
Yes,
Yes. Yeah.
they were my favorite.
And I think
Someone please do a round menu card.
and I think that was my favorite table you had made up because the colors were so dark. And
Yeah,
everyone always does, not that I don't love it, but everyone always does like the blushes and the neutral colors. I just for once would like a really dramatic
yeah,
wedding with like pops of color and dark colors.
yeah,
I always seem to ask, brides, what colors do you want your lettering? Oh, gold, gold and gray.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I I really desire different. I
Hmm.
really am always like, think outside the box, look different places, look at Europe,
Yeah.
look at Spain, look
Yeah.
at Italy, because what's going on over there is going to be here in 2 years.
Hmm.
So look there and you can be ahead of the game.
Yes.
So when your guests show up, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I've never seen this before.
Hmm.
Don't look at Pinterest because
Hmm.
Pinterest is what everybody else is doing.
Yes.
Look at other places. Even if you look at California,
Hmm.
California is ahead of us,
Yep.
so I always am like, please do something
And I always
unique.
tell them to step outside the box too. I mean, I can letter on a whole bunch of things. I mean, fruit, like actual
Yes,
like apples for fall or little mini pumpkins for
yes,
fall, lemons for spring and summer. I mean,
yes,
there's a whole bunch of things that I can letter on, not just paper.
yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Not just paper, not just a picture frame. I mean, and and take her suggestions, and that's one thing I spoke about recently was, you hire these professionals, use them,
Yeah.
they know what they're talking about. So if they
Yeah.
have these creative awesome ideas, your guests are going to be wowed when they show up and their table numbers are on a pumpkin or
Mm-hmm.
something really
Yeah.
unique.
Yeah. I think too, I love when people bring creative things for me to make seating charts out of. I think one of my favorite ones I did for here was the antique door, the white door,
Mm,
and each pane was a seating chart, was
mhm.
this the table number, and the door, the couple was from out of town, and they found it on Facebook Marketplace in Newberry,
Isn't that
Williamsport.
crazy?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, no kidding, I'm like 5 minutes away from Newberry. You can have it delivered right to my house. So they did. They had family member in town pick it up and bring it to my house. And it worked out because then I could just bring it right out here when I was done. And I think that was probably one of my favorite things I've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen like seating charts for tables. I prefer them alphabetically
Mhm.
because it's easier for the guest. I
Mhm.
absolutely, that's my preference because think of yourself as a guest and you're going up to look for your name. We've often had guests go, I can't find my name because you're looking at table numbers and
Yeah.
it takes you so long, especially if they're a little older or can't see or something like that.
Yeah.
No problem, we help them. But if it's alphabetical, you're like, oh, okay, here's my name and you're on
Mhm.
your way. That being said, I love it when they do different things. Like I've seen like different old like jugs with tables,
Mhm.
table one,
Yeah.
really unique things, wine bottles,
Yeah.
all different kinds of
Yeah.
things that you could do for your seating chart instead of just a seating
Right.
chart. Make it fun,
Make it
make it different.
interactive too.
Yeah.
Like, and what you said, I'm sure. I mean, I've run into it before where you have people with the same names and they don't want like a last initial name, like last initial. They just want the first names with the table numbers, and it's like, wait a second, what are you gonna do if you have multiple people with the same first
Mhm.
name? How are they gonna tell which table they sit at? So
Mhm.
that's another thing too that
Right.
I mentioned to people. Think about how you want their names to be. Do you want last names first? Do you want It's a big decision,
Yeah.
but
But
it
you don't
makes
want to make it too crazy. We
no.
we have had people do a QR code here.
Oh my gosh.
And keep in mind we're in a field
Yeah.
and we have great cell service here,
Hmm.
except these people were all out of state and they all had AT&T, which does not get good service
Good.
here. So they couldn't get the QR code at all. So we had to stand down here with like the main chart
And oh
and
my
tell everybody where
word.
they were sitting.
And I'm sure there are elderly people who don't know how to use a QR code.
Right,
Like,
right.
yeah,
So that one
yeah.
was a little bit of a nightmare.
Hmm. Sometimes keeping it simple, I think, is the best bet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We have had some that are unique but difficult.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
So, besides our round seating chart that you love, or round menu card, do you do a lot of menu cards?
I've done a bunch of like headers for them, where they'll get them pre-printed, and
Mhm.
then bring them to me to like finish decorating. And the
Oh,
most popular one recently has just been like a swipe of watercolor
yeah.
across the top with their colors, or at the bottom. That's real popular right now. It's simple, it's effective, it gets noticed on the table.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah. So that's been popular.
So, one thing that we require is when it's a plated meal that the place card each setting has to identify the meal,
Hmm.
and we prefer that each card be a different color so
Okay.
that our server can just see a color and place the meal.
Yes.
And that is so effective for us. So I always say, like, if your wedding is blush, gray, white, your steak is blush, the chicken is gray, the pasta
Yes.
is white, whatever.
Yep.
So the splash of a watercolor across,
Hmm.
you don't have to make like a whole blush card, make it a white card, but that splash like you
Yeah.
would do of the watercolor would be
Yeah, that
perfect.
would be perfect.
And
Yeah.
that would be really pretty.
Yeah. I also did um I also did one for you guys too, where the bride didn't want the color, she wanted a little icon. And I did like little flowers, like purple
Yeah.
was like the meat, pink was the chicken, like yellow was the fish.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that was kind of fun too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's just easiest. We request that it's a
And
color.
that works for you guys
It,
too.
because
Yeah.
there's no question for our servers. It's so easy to see from
Hmm.
a distance standing up here.
Hmm.
So you don't have to like squint down, you don't
Yeah.
have to ask a guest, there's no interruption, it's quick service.
Yeah.
And I understand where a bride's coming from, like it's easy for them just to like put a chicken stamp on it or something.
Mm.
You know, for service, you want that seamless
Yeah.
service. So
Especially
that's what,
when things are flying out and, they glance quickly. It might have looked like a chicken when they glanced, but it was a fish,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know we're here to talk weddings and everything, but let's talk a little bit about what you do downtown too,
Okay.
so people know, like when they see that, they'll be like, "Oh, that's Sarah." So, what all do you
Yeah.
do for
So,
the?
so I have been the past, I'm going to say 2 or 3 years. A lot of businesses have been coming to me to do window art. And I didn't really, at first I was like, autos asked me, and I was like, I don't really know what to do for that. Like, I don't know. So I researched window art and window artists, and I looked up different pens, and I use chalk markers because then they can just wipe them off when they're done. And Elisa, who I love dearly at Autos, she came up with all these huge quotes, and I was like, can we kind of like chop it down a little bit so it's not so much for me to write at first? And she was like, okay. So she found a seasonal holiday quote, and I lettered it. I did some decorations, and then Patina's saw it, and the woman who usually did their window art, she hurt her wrist, so she couldn't do it any longer. And they were like, well, we carry your stuff, so why don't we just have
Makes
you do the window
sense.
art? So then I've been doing their window art every Christmas and in the spring and summer. Um, and then occasionally I do alabaster coffee as well. I'll decorate their windows. It just kind of spruces up the downtown, I think. And when
Yeah.
you drive through, it it looks really nice and it's welcoming, I think, to people who are out of town. They can see the pretty artwork and, kind of feel like, oh, this is kind of a cool shop. I'm gonna go inside and
Hmm.
see what's in there. Um, and I'm trying to think. My most recent one actually was Patina's before I had. Well, actually, no, it was Arrow and Thread. I did her windows
Okay.
in her new shop. right before I had the baby.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fun, but yeah.
Well, you said patinas, they carry my stuff. So
hmm
what is in patinas?
So Patina's carries a range of my greeting cards, watercolors, bookmarks, gift tags, and sometimes when I have like specialty items like wooden signs. I don't really take as many there because they don't have a lot of space to
Right,
put them. And they do have a couple spots on the wall, but I think sometimes that they don't get as noticed,
right.
because they're up high. But yeah, you can find a bunch of my things down there, and yeah.
And then you're also always at our Christmas market
hmm
and at our winter markets
Yes.
here. So December, January, February, March. Did we do it through April? January, February, March. I don't
I think
remember
your
if
last one was April,
April,
I
January, February,
believe.
March, April. I think it
Yeah.
was too. So we do that through winter when we're not busy. The last Saturday of every month we have a vendor market here through the winter, and Sarah was here every month selling all of her beautiful
Yeah.
goods. So you can always catch her
Mhm.
things here too.
And that's such a fun event. I'm so glad you guys started doing that.
Yeah,
And I met a lot of cool people through it.
me too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so many people I've met. I mean, everyone, all of the vendors have been just fabulous, such cool people. And
hmm
then the people that come to it, it's just been so neat to meet everybody.
hmm Yeah, and people are very supportive of what you do, and they like to see that there's people out in the community that are doing these things,
Hmm.
not just as a hobby, but as to make a living and
Hmm.
as their way of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And shopping local,
Yep.
so important.
So important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's cool because there's not a lot going on in the wintertime. So it's a nice, cool thing to get all of you guys here.
hmm Yeah, and it's a great way to get people out and doing things and being part of the community for
And we
sure.
always have cocktails.
Yeah, yummy cocktails, which I couldn't have last year, but
This year
this
you
year,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, so do you have anything special coming up? Oh, I saw you doing Lake Nakoma. You're doing
They did a little members craft show.
oh, it already happened?
Yep,
Oh,
it was
okay.
July 4th weekend.
Oh, okay.
It was a lot of fun. I didn't realize there were so many people who make things in our little lake community.
Oh, yeah.
But there was some um there was a family that made homemade pickles, which was really cool. Their kids are homeschooled, so they did
Oh,
those.
neat.
Yeah, and it just was neat to kind of meet people that I haven't really spoken to in a long time.
Yeah.
A lot of the old ladies loved my cards.
Nice.
So,
I love your cards. Yeah.
yeah,
I still have my Simply the Best sticker on my
there
fridge
you
at
go.
home. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
those. Um, is there anything coming up though? Any craft shows coming up? Anywhere anybody
Um,
can catch you besides Patina's
trying to
all the
think.
time?
I also have stuff at John Waltman's marketplace
Oh,
in
okay.
Lowesock. And then there's a little store in LaPorte that I have cards at too. So if you're up in the Sullivan County area, you can swing by the LaPorte Cafe and find things up there. Um, I don't really have anything lined up right now just because with the baby. I have a bunch of weddings coming up
Oh,
though.
good.
Yeah, I have one at the end of August. I have one in September and October. So that's gonna keep me busy for a while
Yeah,
as well.
that's a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that's
it is.
stressful weddings.
It is, yeah. Especially at the beginning, I think when they're trying to organize all of their stuff and get what they want down. Because for me, I like to kind of start getting things on my end organized as well. And when they're back and forth conversations happening, it's a little little stressful at times, but
Well, and that is the worst part, the seating chart.
yeah.
That's the worst part.
Yeah.
I mean, it's horrible for them to organize
Oh yeah.
it. And
hmm
then for you, and then it's like, oh, now this person can't come. We need to change this table.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a difficult time.
And I think people get so oversaturated with all the ideas out there that sometimes they can't pinpoint an idea right away and or they don't stick with an idea. Um I've had people change their minds like the layout like
Yeah.
2 days before because they saw something else they liked on Pinterest. And it's like I usually tell them just go with your first gut instinct.
Yep.
You know?
That's true.
That's the what I think what you'll be most happy with in the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's always true.
Yeah.
Your first thought.
hmm
All
Yeah.
right. Do you want to add anything to it?
Um not really. I don't have
Good.
anything else to really.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, if you watch Jason, then you know I have some fun little questions
Sure.
for you.
Okay. All right. Do you have a secret talent? I do. It's not when we were kids, my cousins and I used to have a contest where we would put a spoon on our nose to see who could hold the spoon longest, and I would always win for
I
some
can't do
reason.
that at all.
Yeah, that's probably my only really secret talent. And I can play the violin. I used to play the
Can you
violin. Yeah.
really?
I
Does Jason know that?
Yes, yes. We because we went to high school together.
Okay.
But I stopped playing in 10th grade so I could take more art classes and focus on art.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I still have my violin though. It's in my storage space in our house.
Can you still play it, you think?
I so my cousins and I all stopped playing our violins and violas around the same time in high school. And
You're
we
like,
all,
"Mm."
yeah, yeah, pretty much. We all joke around that we're dropouts. We're orchestra dropouts. So as a joke, we all thought we would get together one Christmas and put together a little like orchestra
Yeah.
and play for our families.
Was it bad?
It was interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Were your parents so excited?
Oh yeah, everyone was
Yeah.
like thought it was like so funny, and
Yeah.
I was surprised I could still read music because
Oh,
I haven't read music in such a long time. So
yeah.
yeah, but yeah. Okay. What is one food you could eat for the rest of your life? I'd probably say ice cream right off the bat.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yes.
I
That is
agree.
my yeah. Yes,
Has to be good ice cream. What's your
it
favorite
does.
ice cream?
We really like the potting bench right now.
Oh my God, I
Oh
love the
my gosh.
potting
And
bench.
that's on your way home, isn't it?
Well, it's in Southside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm a Southsider,
Yep, you
so
are. Yeah.
she's awesome. I mean,
I know.
she had a plan, man.
Yep. And the
Oh,
Sundays they come
shout
up
out
with,
to Lori.
yes, shout out. Those Sundays, I don't know where they come up with those ideas,
Ah,
but
and you don't wait.
no,
You don't wait. There could
no.
be a line from here to the end of the parking lot. You get up there, you put your order in, and it's a
Yep,
couple minutes and they're shouting your
yep,
name.
yep, yep.
Go to the potting
Yes,
bench
potting bench for sure. Do you have any pet peeves? What are they?
when the potting bench is
When the
closed.
potting bench is closed. Yeah, when they close for the season. Um, Pet peeves. I do, but I can't really think off the top of my head.
My God.
It's usually like when it happens in the moment that I like probably when I'm trying to talk to somebody and they're scrolling on their phone and they don't look up at me or say anything to me. You know, I hate that. Um or like when someone's at my house and they don't put a coaster down on the table. Drives
Okay.
me crazy too. Because we have them all over our house, like
Yeah.
coasters. That drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have road rage too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Bad drivers, rude drivers.
Yeah. I
Can't
think
stand it.
that's top of everyone's
Yes,
list.
yeah.
Who are the bad drivers, though? I mean, we all have road rage. So, I mean, do
I
the
know.
bad drivers have road rage?
I
Are
know.
they like, who's like the worst driver?
Right? Is it us or is it that? Like who?
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
I admit it if I do something wrong. I'm like, oh, I was bad. I'm sorry.
What did you want to be growing up? Ooh, I wanted to be a fashion designer. hmm
Mm,
I, my mom's friend lives in New York City and she teaches at NYU.
mm.
And I wanted to be a fashion designer for the longest time. I used to carry a notebook where I draw like designs and fashions, specifically a dress designer. Yeah, and then I realized I do not get along with sewing machines. They are
Okay.
not, yeah. So I kind of re-evaluated what I wanted to do and went into art
So, do you have to sew to design? I
to make it
wonder.
through your classes, yeah,
All
because I
right.
looked into some of the fashion schools when I was looking into colleges, and yeah, you have to. You have to know how to sew and make a pattern.
That's
Yeah.
kind of crappy because,
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many talented people that could
Yeah,
design but couldn't sew for
right.
sure.
I know. We can't all be like Vera Wang, where we're like telling somebody to sew this for
Yeah.
me. Yeah, yeah. What's the best sitcom, past or present? Does it have to be a sitcom or can it be a show?
Yeah. Whatever show.
Whatever show. I'm trying to think.
Do you not love sitcoms?
No, I'm just thinking of shows I've
Okay.
watched recently.
Okay.
Um, my husband and I do really like Parks and Recreation. That
I
is
like that
one.
too.
We have binge watched that throughout our marriage, repeatedly because it is
Hmm.
funny. Really love Schitt's Creek.
It's
That
my
was great.
favorite.
Yeah, mine too. And we recently just watched The Bear.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
That's
dark
great.
comedy,
Yeah.
but It
Did
was
you
very
watch
great.
season 2?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't watched
Yeah.
season 2. I watched the first episode, but
Yeah.
that's it.
Season 2 is the best.
Was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
All right, I gotta get on that.
It was so good. Yeah.
I mean, that's a life here. I gotta get on that.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I know where it's gonna be.
It'd be Delaware.
Oh, really? I thought you
Yeah.
were gonna say Ireland.
Well, no, I think I'd like to visit there, but I think I'd really like to
Okay.
have a house by the beach.
Okay.
Coastal Delaware.
Okay.
That's where I would live.
All
Yeah.
right, then I'll visit you.
Yeah, definitely. If you were in charge of the playlist, which song would you play next? That's a tough one. 'Cause I have so many songs I like. Um,
What's your favorite genre of music?
all different
Yeah,
genres. Yeah, that's my
same.
problem. It would probably be something upbeat and something fun and something that I could drive to because I have to have music when I drive
Yeah.
in my car. Um, I've been loving all the Taylor Swift
Oh, me
remakes
too.
of her
Yeah.
albums. I just was listening to Speak Now on the way here, so it probably would be something off of that album
Isn't that
at the
funny? Don't
moment.
you feel like you're too old to be listening to Taylor
I
Swift?
know, but
Yeah,
like I grew up
I
with it,
love it. Yeah.
so
Taylor Swift and Miley Cyrus. I love them.
yes, yeah, I do
Yeah.
too. Hmm.
Well, this was
Yeah,
great.
yeah, these are good questions too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Fun,
fun.
interesting getting to know you.
Yeah.
Well, if you have any need for Sarah's expertise, which I'm sure you all do, not just weddings, it can be for
Hmm.
anything, and her cards, any holiday, any parties, anything.
Hmm.
I will put all of her information on the podcast list below there so you can get in touch with her. Thank you for coming to visit
Yeah.
us on this beautiful day today. And I'm glad we got a little YouTube in here because it's been a minute. So hopefully, I won't be too long until you see us again. Have
Thank
a
you.
good day.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.